I've asked, well, first of all, thank you for everyone for joining us. This is going to be a celebration recap from ANZ 2018. So I know, Tal and Linda and Chris and Paul and Laura and Fib and Jam and a lot of crew were there. And probably the biggest takeaway I had, and I'll share three main takeaways tonight, a little bit about my own freedom story. But the biggest thing is that in the 5 years I've been here, I've seen it go through a cycle. And it was what happened is it's gone this accelerated growth. And like the seasons, there has to be a bit of a restructuring and a reviving before it grows again. So what that has meant is that we grew at such an exponential rate, and it was literally exponential after 5 or 6 years of just pottering along. Same happened in Australia, same happened in New Zealand. And then once, because it's a word-of-mouth referral system, once the early adopters started teaming together, boom, exponential growth. And now the phase we're in now is they've consolidated to then build for the next section. And everyone can agree that the culture, the tribe, the integrity, the apps, the tools, the people that are getting rewarded, the people that are training, it's from such a heart space with also some actionable sort of business training, which is the most important thing. And I think alignment and culture and tribe being the foundation, the who and the how will show up once we get really clear on our what and our when and our why. So that was the biggest takeaway for me, was just that foundation is there for us. There's $6 billion in revenue to be shared. 50% of it is always going to be given to the associates. So as this company builds into an $8 billion, $10 billion, $20 billion business, 50% is always going to go back to you guys. So we need to, like I said, Zach Sloban said to me, man, I'm sick of all this going to me. We're at enough. We need to make sure you guys are getting paid as well. So that's the biggest thing. And also remember, we're only registered. We're registered to go into 88 countries, and we've only launched in 14. Mon was talking about, Belgium and the Netherlands and Ireland, and this is cool. And I'm sure you have contacts there and start to get a couple of feelers in there. But there's only been 77,000 people that are active associates in Australia right now, out of the 28 million people, right? So there's a chance that a lot of people have had the conversation about isogenics and they just haven't taken the step. But there's so much social proof now that, Kylie Donaldson said it really well. She invited Brett and Sammy to her first launch party, and Sammy was on her way, heavily pregnant, and she didn't show up. Now, Kylie forgot to follow up with her. The very next conversation that was had with Brett and Sammy, they signed up. And they signed up under someone else. I don't know if it was Alan or Jackson or something like that, but they signed up in the very next conversation. So my gut feeling is that a lot of people have had the conversation, and there's a lot of people out there that are waiting to have that next conversation where they get started. And they're waiting for someone with the right values, the right intention, the right alignment to work with. And that's the attraction that you guys will create through your own brand and what we'll create as a community as well. So they're probably the main things there. And I guess my freedom story, because what I've asked the guys to share tonight is their 30-second freedom story. So before I started with Isogenics, most people know that I was a physio and I loved my job and I was heading in the direction I wanted to head, but I was probably only earning $70,000, $80,000 a year, working 60 to 100 hours a week. And love only takes me so far, because eventually I burnt out. And that's when I was looking for a health solution. And Peter sort of taught me about this. And from day one, I was always about health. But the thing that got me, and this is such a massive clue, the thing that actually got me was when she drew the compensation plan, you plus two, them plus two, you share, they share. And I saw that if I helped two people, that I could get $80 for helping one person, $80 for helping the other. And if I helped them the same week, it doubled. So it was $160 for each person that I helped. And I looked at what I was doing in physio. I was getting paid like $30 an hour and charging these people like $90 to $150 for the hour. And none of them were getting the results from Impact or the community that we have right here. So that was a massive thing for me. And then I started sharing it. And, in my first year, I probably, only earned about $50,000, and I'd only invested maybe 5 or 10 grand into a business. The second year, it grew to, towards a 6-figure income. The third year, the same, just probably a little bit over 6-figure income. And then by the fourth year, I was generating around over $250,000 in that year residually. And again, even last year, whilst I've been writing a book and building a platform and moving to Bali and going through a breakup, they still paid me every single week. And it just reminds me that you will get rewarded, not for the work that you've done now, but for the work you did 12 months ago. And if you really get that first 9-day game plan and get that plane to take off, it'll start to pay you. But if you don't get that next level of momentum, it'll crash back down. So, if you guys are in takeoff mode, focus on just taking off and getting that ball rolling. Get your first couple of people in that plane and just get the momentum going again. And then the next step is, once you're up, it's just about going to a higher level, which will often require you growing as a person. And David Wood says it really well. You only grow to the extent that, or the business only grows to the extent that you grow yourself. So that's, I guess, my story. And what I see going forwards is, I can't wait to see. I don't want to be the only Bfree person on stage again next year. That's my vision for this year. Is to be honest, I probably want to even get on stage if there aren't other people up there with me, because as a leader, it means that I haven't been able to empower you guys to go on your journey, or for whatever reason. So just promise me that you do it for you. And if, 6 figures, man, is like, I know some of you have been in this 2, 3, 4 years, like a cumulative income of 6 figures isn't that hard. Most of you will go to work at your job to make 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 grand a year. So I tell you, I hope to see you on freaking stage, Tally. 2/3 of your business is waiting for you, mate. And there's so many people in this business that are like that. So let's inspire each other. The last little thing before I'll get Laura and Fib to share is there are 3 really cool things that were shared at Celebration. The first one is the health and the business roadmap. So on here, we have the health roadmap. So the health roadmap's really simple. We register people, we do a 30-day reset, then we do 90 days of maintenance, which happens to be called the 16-week Ice Body Challenge. And then somewhere along the line, you introduce the Health and Mind and Body program. And if you help them do that and start with a couple of people, there's 95% retention in your business. 95% retention by helping people go through the health roadmap. And I think this is something that's been forgotten after the hoo-ha of business, is just running through people through this process, which is essentially the Be Well incentive. That's the reason why we're doing this. So you're incentivized to plug people into these steps and make sure that you get 95% retention, because we know that if you do that, then you're going to get 100 BV every single month from each of the people that you sign up from here on in. And each person they sign up. And then on top of that, you get the bonuses and things like that. So this is where the foundation of your business will really build. And probably the best thing you can do with anyone that's just got started is ask the question of who wants to do it with me. So we had Talia, we had the McFarlane family join, and they're all excited about the business. I'm like, cool, but start with your health journey. Get this foundation right and ask who wants to do the journey with me, because they don't yet have a story. So if you guys have a story, then the next thing is the crystal map. You go and share your story with as many people as you can. And, realistically, if you want to help 100 people, you're probably going to have 500 conversations over 6 months, 12 months, 5 years, 10 years. And if you have those 500 conversations, 10 to 20% are going to get started. And from there, you'll find at least 10 people that want to get started on the program and find some people to do it with them. So that was one of the big takeaways. The other one is the new associate checklist has been simplified. So I'll post this in the comments section. This is a 1-page document, no longer 2 pages, and it goes through. So this is a product user, and then it goes through the casual sharer and the business builder. So these are just qualifying questions for your business builders. And, it's as simple as, as an example for someone who's just started, get them to ask who wants to do it with me, who wants to do a detox, who wants to, check out this opportunity. I don't yet know what it is, but I'm frothing. I'm going to leverage the community, leverage their results, ice a movie, tell your story, lock your story, 3-way calls and get them started. So yeah, that's about it, guys. So I'll stop there. That's all I have to share. Hopefully there's some froth back there. Any questions, just chuck it in the chat box. But what I'll do now is, Fib and Laura, can I get you guys just to take yourself off mute? And if you can just share your 30-second story around your business journey so far, and then 3 takeaways that you got from Celebration.
Okay, thanks everyone. So we've been working on this today because we actually were out of the leadership meeting picking up our new person from the train station. So we've been working on this today, so I hope it's correct. So my 30-second story is, before starting with Isogenics, I felt lost. And despite working 80 hours a week, we were still drowning in debt. And I was quickly becoming this unhealthy, overweight and completely stressed out person. And when I looked in the mirror, I didn't even recognize the person that I was becoming. And then about 18 months ago, we were introduced to Asterix by our good friends Rob and Ria, and I have been using these incredible products ever since. And now I feel amazing. I feel I'm the happiest and healthiest I've ever been. I'm also the calmest, and I honestly just feel like I'm me now. And because my friends and family started using the products to feel amazing too, I've just started to generate an additional income, and for the first time I have hope. I can see that we are going to pay our debts off, and that just excites me so much. And I just think everyone should be able to experience feeling amazing and, you know, not having that financial stress as well. But yeah, that's mine.
That's awesome, Laura. And how many people do you think you have to impact to pay off that first bill?
Oh, first one. So we have, we've done our totals. So our big total is 70 people.
Wow.
To get
so 70 people and you're debt free. You help 70 people with this program, you pay off your debts.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what would that mean to you?
To us, that would be like, when I think about it, I can't even speak about it because it makes me so emotional, because it's not even just our debt. It's like, it's actually buying Vivian's parents a home and getting them out of debt and setting them up so that, you know, they have food every week and they have electricity every week. And yeah, so like 70 people for us is like, it's not even just life-changing for us, it's life-changing for our whole family. Yeah, so it means a lot.
I think we got there. And I've known you for 2 years, and like however long it is, I didn't even know that was your driver.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Please keep sharing that, and I just can't wait to see, you know, you do a little post in Bfree and maybe the families in Australia or whatever it is, right? And
yeah.
And if we can help,
with all this,
we can help as a community anyway. You know,
with all this happening, we'll be in Zim with all of this achieved. We're going to be in Zim in August to celebrate with them, and then we're going to have it here for Christmas as well.
Can you do me one favour? When along the way, just make sure you leverage the Bfree community as well, because I'm sure a lot of people will be willing to help with that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my takeaways, I mainly had one kind of big driving takeaway, is that I felt like it came through with a lot of the presentations for me, that not to like I am a leader and I'm powerful. I just need to stop borrowing other people's stories about who I am. Yeah, and just being around all of you guys and everyone, like, you just make me feel so good and make me feel so powerful, and I need to take that outside of you guys because I know if I do, I can have such a big impact. But yeah, when
you do.
Yeah, when I do.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Starting tomorrow. Yeah, so that was kind of mine. So I felt like that, yeah, just not borrowing other people's stories and just doing whatever you need to do to protect your own story and keeping that really sacred to yourself, like sacred and part of, part of you.
That's awesome, Laura.
That's awesome. Me.
Is there anything else, or should we hand over to Fib?
That's all for me. That's all for me.
Thank you so much for your vulnerability and for sharing that why, because I think, put your hand up, guys, if you can relate to Laura's, abundance and business vision on a little bit more of a deeper level, yeah? So we're all behind you, Laws. All right, Fib, over to you, brother. Let's take it away. So what's your freedom story and any takeaways from celebration?
Okay, yep. Can you guys hear me from there? Because I know my voice is not that loud most of the time.
It's good.
You guys good? Nice. All right, so thanks again, I think, for suggesting doing the stories. Because it actually gets me into action to start working on my stories, which is something I'm wanting to do a bit more. So this is one I wrote today, and I will work on it a bit more, but felt good writing it. So before Isogenics, we were living from pay to pay. Had accumulated a lot of debt and could not support my parents back in Zimbabwe the way I would like to, which felt terrible and humiliating. I was introduced to Isogenics by my beautiful partner, Laura. I've been using and sharing the products for just under 2 years. As a result, I'm now able to send small regular payments to my parents, contribute towards our own debt, and finally see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I now believe that this opportunity is a gift we need to share with everyone, as it has brought us peace of mind, hope, and the ability to dream and live again. So that's my story. And then for takeaways, we actually did have a lot of takeaways, but there's one. I'll share just a couple. So first one is being the power of events. So yeah, which is funny. So even from Laura's experience, my experience is for us personally, just being around the community, being you guys, and then the wider ISO community. It's always just that boost that we need. And then the event itself is amazing, but the conversations that follow after have been amazing, which is what we love. And then also we brought Kara down to this event, and she also put the vision, and she even like during our conversations was saying, even if we try to explain it in any way, she actually just caught the vision so much by being at this event, and she was just ready to go with her own business. She was so inspired with her PT and her own business. So that was one thing that we loved. And how we got her to it is also one of the points shared at the event, is just creating value around the event. So we really asked her questions over the year that we've just been chatting, and then knew what she needed, what she was interested in, and then they created value around that as to what they're going to provide for her. And then then my second just point is just leverage. So in terms of how we're creating our business, so even just us, you don't have to even like think about it now. You don't have to enroll 70 people. Pretty much we can actually leverage by whoever we enroll, helping them enroll and support their people. And that way I got that. I think it was from Zach? I think it was from Zach Slogan. Yeah. And just the way he drew it and explained, that's us doing the work for 24 hours a day is actually so much better leveraging it as a team. So looking to use everything we do. So yeah.
And just to add on to leverage, like really seeing leverage in action with Kara at the event, like we pretty much just brought her up, and then we just let her run wild with you guys, and now she's like, that's amazing. So yeah.
And it's such a big point, guys. And I'll just really touch on that, because the first event, I reckon I came with, how many did we go? Like 2 or 3 people. And then the next event, there was like 12. And the next event, there was like 40. And then the next event, my business, I think, really went into momentum when I had 68 people at the event. And you watch the compensation plan every time, because people capture the vision, because it's, hearing it from Laura and Fib is great. But when they hear it from someone like themselves, or they see someone like themselves, and they're getting trained from Zach Sloban and, Heidi McCallany, and people who have really refined the message with their team for 5, 10, 15 years, it just makes it so simple. And I love the point you said about, creating the vibe around the event and actually getting them there. So this is your first person to an event, and she's caught the mission. She's a legend of a human. You leverage the Bfree community and the Isogenics community, and it was very natural and organic, right? So there's a lesson in simplicity in that. So let's keep that as a culture going forward. And also, there are $109 tickets for next year's celebration up until April 10. And the family I brought at the McFarlanes, the 20-year-old Shannon, she bought 5. So she's already committed to bringing 5 of her friends next year, like a 20-year-old kid, you know what I mean? So I tell you that just to, that's the type of mindset that I think we need to have, is just to really be committing and then find the people, and not making excuses the week before that we haven't found anyone, and just plant the seeds, and worst case scenario, circulate them within the team, and we'll get enough people there collectively. All right. So thanks, Laura and Fib. And Laura, Linda sums it up by saying, you're giving me goosies. So I want to see you give 100 people goosebumps this week by sharing that. Linda, let's take you off mute. I know you hate talking. So if you could share your freedom story and just some takeaways from the event, that would be awesome.
Oh, I didn't know I was doing my freedom story.
Just your 30-second business story. Yours is pretty simple.
I did my 30-second story, but I actually didn't do it on my freedom story. So let's just wing this one, shall we? I'm really, really knackered.
Me too. Thanks for being on. It's been a big weekend.
So before Isogenics, I was struggling to keep my head above water financially. We were living month to month, and I'm sick and tired of feeling stressed about money all the time, and to take the family for a trip to Melbourne for a week, and we've got to save for months. I just I sort of just want to be able to say, you know what, kids at school holidays, I don't have to work anymore. Let's go to Melbourne or Sydney or wherever for the freaking holidays. So now I was introduced to Isogenics by my mate Rob Love. Sorry, I've got pins and needles in my foot. I've been in Isogenics now for 6 months, I think, something like that. And as a result, we've paid down credit card debt. Where things are just looking so much brighter for us. I bought tickets, and I said to my husband when I got home that he's coming with me to UIA, and he was like, "Yep." I said, "And you're coming with me next year," and I'm never ever going to another event without him. So I don't do life very well without my husband and my kids around. I had a little bit of anxiety all weekend, and I just don't cope. So our future is just so bright. And Jamie and I actually had a sit down with a lady today, and she's sort of struggling for money and has to go back to work full time, and I had Jamie in tears because they're in such bad financial state. No, honey. And I said to this lady that I'm not awkward about sharing this opportunity with people to change their lives, to give them more abundance, more freedom and more choice in their life. So she was like seriously sitting there just watching what I'd drawn out on the You Share, They Share. It's as simple as this. It is so simple. So I left her downloading Audible and the 4 agreements. And and she's going to start on the system. And it's just my biggest takeaway from the weekend was Zach's slogan, just so simple. It's so simple. We create so much stress around everything. And, I've just lost my word. Sorry. Yeah, we just create this hectic sort of mindset, I suppose. So if you just stay simple and follow those text scripts.
Yeah.
And I'm really struggling to speak.
You're right. You hit it now on the head. And, thanks again. And I know you had Jamie and Michelle there. And one thing you did forget to mention as well is that you've been in previous network marketing companies before. What would you say is the one biggest difference that you've noticed from them to the culture and tribe that you saw on the weekend?
Honestly, Rules, there is no comparison.
Yeah.
No comparison. To be in that room with the biggest thing for me is the young 30-year-olds that are earning 250 grand a year for sharing a gift. You know, like that just blows me away. The young entrepreneurs, that they're smart and that's what creates that vibe, you know. That's what I said to Dan when I got home. It just blows me away that the young people in there, and the fact that there's 3,000 people in a room, and the other company I was with had theirs on the weekend, and there was a quarter of the people that were at their grand opening last year. So I made the right choice.
And the vibes, Linda. Thank you so much for sharing. And I know you have to go because you want to be with your family. So if you want to shoot off,
can I? Thanks.
And I'll see you in the week in the Bfree page.
See you guys.
See you guys. Thank you so much. And also, we've got Gemma, and I know Tully you want to share, but Gem, whilst we've got you on, I'd love to hear your 30-second story, and Tully, just your 30-second story, and maybe for the takeaways, if that's okay, guys, we'll get everybody to go into the Bfree page and share their takeaways in the comment section. So if you've taken some good photos of Zach Sloban's scripts, or there's a link to the new associate checklist which they've put out, let's just unload all that in the comment section. Don't make a new post. We'll just load it all under this so that people then have a resource where they can go through it in their own time. So Jem, if you want to take yourself off mute and show your pretty face and share your story, that would be epic.
Hello guys, can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Cool. So I didn't really prepare my story, but I was doing my 2000 master list today. That was my main focus, so it took up a lot of time.
2,000 people?
Yeah, just over. That was just from every bit of social media and list and contact that I could possibly find. So, but yeah, so I don't really have my story written out, or haven't even really thought about it, to be honest, because I always struggle with my story, and I feel like tonight is probably the best time to just be vulnerable and just get it out. So, and I'm gonna cry because I've just been crying all day. But so I hope you can understand. So before I knew about isogenics, my life was pretty good. Financially, I was working in a FIFO job. It was really cruisy. I was doing very little. My health was okay. I was training and eating healthy and stuff, but I just lacked the whole energy because of working 12-hour days. So I came into it, or the products got me excited about the energy. And when I looked at the financial opportunity, I was like, okay, cool. That's something that could go hand in hand, because I wanted to get into personal training. So I was studying personal training, working 80 hours a week, earning 3.5 grand a week. So the financial opportunity of ISA, just the U+2 or you share, they share, didn't really excite me because I was making more than that in a day. But it was, the reason I got excited is because I wanted to pursue a career in personal training, but I knew it was such a time for money industry, and I'd struggle financially if I didn't have something else like isogenics.
Yeah.
So I guess, and then I started building my isogenics business and started sharing it with people, because my health and training was pretty on point, but I knew a lot of people were struggling financially. So I wanted to share all those opportunities with people, because I knew that, you know, a lot of people's health and fitness wasn't on point as much as mine. And then for about, I think I've been in this business 4 years. For about 2 of those years, my self-doubt and fear and all that sort of shit crept in, and my whole business and, you know, community and everything completely fell apart. And it's only been now that probably like the last 6 months that I have really, really, really struggled financially. The first time in my whole life where I've had no money. And it's because of, you know, I've got a very busy mind, and you know, my self-doubt and self-confidence and fear and all this like completely took over and basically just like ruined me, absolutely destroyed me as a person, to the point where I had to quit my job as a PT because I just could not focus on it. So I nearly didn't actually come to Celebration, but I'm so glad that I did, because like, it's just, the community is absolutely everything for me and Isa. And even though I am a bit of a lone wolf, I do like to, you know, get a little bit amongst it. But yeah, financially, like, I had a good money mindset because I came from such a high paying job. But now it's just, I really need to work on that again. And it blows my mind that, you know, so many people are in jobs that they absolutely hate because it pays well, or because there's no other option, or they're not creative. And I need to take it back to when I got excited about isogenics, and, you know, why I quit FIFO is because I wanted to do something that I love, and isogenics is the perfect vehicle. Even if it's, you know, even if you're sharing it with just a couple of people and getting your products paid for and a few extra $100 a month, then you can, you know, be in a job that you absolutely love, or you can take it to the next level and not work and just pursue this as a career. So it was a big wake up call for me at Celebration that I just need to get out of my own way.
Yeah, and what you did today was phenomenal. Like, you messaged me and Tal, and I think that's the first time you've asked for support as a lone wolf over the last couple of years. So promise me that you keep doing more of that. And I think the biggest takeaway from Celebration for Gemma is a 2,000 list. So
yeah,
I have to go find some more names. It's ridiculous, man. And can everyone put a hand up if you're going to help Gem with 3-way calls or messages or anything? Yeah. Show of hands. Tal, Chris, yeah. Whole crew's here for you, Jam. We just want you to win more than anything, man. So you let us know what you need. And thanks for being so vulnerable tonight. And I know that story goes deeper, so I want to hear that one day too. Cool?
Yeah.
All right, man. I think we'll finish off with Tal's 30-second story, and then, you know, get the comments flowing in the Bfree page. The vibe's too good, and I think we've just got to take the space to really throw these 30-second stories out, because that was my biggest takeaway from Celebration. I haven't been sharing my story for years, and it's a fucking powerful story. So, Tal, I want to hear yours, brother.
Sweet. Well, thanks, Jem, for sharing that. I haven't heard you dig that deep in a little while. Yeah, so thanks for doing that. That was powerful. My story. Like, I guess before Isogenics, I was working as a physio. And even though I enjoyed what I did, earned pretty good money, earned enough to travel, I'm a pretty future paced person, and Caitlin will be able to attest to that. That I'm always thinking, what's the next step? What's the next step? So even though I was working as a physio and enjoying what I was doing, I looked around and I didn't want to be fucking doing that when I was 45, because I saw all these 45-year-old guys that were, they were earning good money, but they were still working 40, 50 hours a week, stressed, their bodies were broken down. So even though I was kind of happy at the time, I was just a happy guy and I was pretty healthy at the time, I was looking for a better way, because I was like, I've got to find a way out here. And I'd got myself into an industry that I loved, but it was time for money. There was zero leverage. All that leverage that just Zach Sloban talked about, I had none of that in my career. And so I didn't really know. And I had no, I guess, business mentors. My family, they were like, mum and dad were crayfishermen, so they did their own thing. But I really didn't see a way out before this. And then Rory introduced me to the products and the company. And something big for me actually is the reason I got started and really went with this was for the business. Like, to be perfectly honest, my health got a shitload better, and it's just so easy to maintain epic health. But I was pretty healthy and I had a bit of a knack for health. And so I probably would have got by if I hadn't had the products in my life, full disclosure. My health with it, 100 times better, but without it, probably would have survived. But the reason I got started was for the business. And I think because I was a health professional and maybe I had a shitty money story, was I never really owned that. And I probably still haven't until, I guess, recently. And that was probably the biggest shift and takeaway for me, because I tried to fit into that health professional model and talk about the health the whole time, and it wasn't authentic. So I hadn't actually been sharing this congruently the whole fucking time, and then wondering why my business wasn't moving very much at times. And so I never doubted the vehicle. So 4.5 years in, it's like I saw people around me having massive success. The system works. You can't argue with that. So I never questioned going anywhere else or stopping or doing something else, because I knew it was just my story and how I was showing up. But what I've realized is most of the stress people have, and I had around money, was not knowing what the fuck the options are. So even just knowing the option is there for when I'm ready to go has taken away stress and created so much freedom in my life up until this point. And sure, extra income, it's allowed me to move and have more flexibility. I haven't worked full-time as a physio for 3.5 years. And so I've been doing lots of other different stuff, ISA included. So that's, I guess, my story with it. And where I'm at now is it's all there. Like, the consistency, the showing up means my business is built to a point where if I pull the trigger, it's there, and freedom's there. And so I'm fucking excited, but I'm excited to have the money conversation with more people and posture around that. And I know we're not doing the celebration takeaways, but me and Kat got to have a good chat with Peter Kelly backstage, and just to know really the ins and outs of where this company is heading and what we've got in store. It's mind blowing. And I think I disconnected from that, like similar to Jem, for a little while, went off and did my thing, disconnected from that for a while, to be perfectly honest. And to come back to that and to have tried a few different ways of creating freedom and doing stuff has just cemented. I don't know, maybe, Jem, because we were pretty happy before we started, we need to go and experience some pain before we actually ran with it. So we just worked ourselves into a bit of a hole. So we can relate to people, now I can relate to people on that level. But to know what we've got, it's like, go and have those conversations and have the posture that we can back it up. And very few things can back up their talk like Isogenics can. So that was my biggest takeaway from Celebration as well. All muddled in with my story, I guess. You got a bit of a hybrid there. So.
That's epic, man. And I really appreciate you, Tully, man. Like, you've been here since the very beginning, and I guess I know it can be hard to see like the Annas and other people around you having so much success, and you've just succeeded at everything you've done in life. And I know that it's your time when you're ready, and when that money story does change, that abundance story does change. And I know what that means for you and Kat and your future. And I know that this is a small part of something bigger that you guys are going to do together. So, and I think that's the same for all of us. This is a part-time hustle with periods of, really, really focused attention. And I just keep coming back, like this business it's the weirdest thing in the world, because it's a reflection of like me on a personal level. So when I'm feeling shitty, business feels shitty. The results are shitty. And when, like my money mindset is shitty, I'm not getting paid because it's shitty, right? So, but as soon as that flips, like I think I had a flip again, and this is the ebbs and flows, and this is again complete disclosure as well. You're going to have those downs and ups, and when I was in a down, I saw my cycles go like really, really quickly, the lowest point I've seen in a long time. And then as soon as my mindset flipped, I attracted 5 of the most amazing humans that had been there all along. So, you're so right, Tal, and I can't wait to see you rock it, man. And I can't wait to see you on stage at some stage. And I know, you don't do it for the accolades or anything like that, but you deserve the recognition for all the work you do, man. So I
think I'd look good on stage. I reckon.
Yeah, you'll be right. Yeah. You'll be less awkward than me. I didn't even know I had to like pause for a photo. I was like, it's like a deer in headlights. Awkward panda, awkward turtle. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave us with one actionable step this week, if that's okay with you. And in Isagenic's back office, the power of stories. So in Isagenic's back office, where is it? Go away. So in back office, there is a really cool tool called the 30-second story. So if you go to isogenicsbusiness.com for any newbies that are watching, and you go to the tools and PDFs, and there's something called Develop Your Story. And Peter talked about changing your story and realigning your story as you go. So if you're open to it, we've seen some amazing stories showing up in the pages. In Be Well, we've got some awesome product stories. In Bfree, I don't think we've heard these stories for a freaking long time. So would it be okay if everybody just takes a photo of them living their ideal lifestyle, whatever, and then shares their freedom story in Bfree, and goes to Be Well, and remember, share your health story, that initial story that you started with, put up your photo that you had, and talk about where you're going and why you're doing it, and just realign and readjust your story. So as leaders, who's cool just to do that? Your Be Well story and your Bfree story, and post it up in the pages. Awesome. Chris, I want to hear your story. I want to hear Paul's story. And even if your business story isn't one where you've yet got started, then share that. You've impacted yourself, and you're ready to transcend yourself. Stop being selfish and get out of your own way, like Ty Criddle did, and be vulnerable and share your health story. And he attracted 4 people who 2 got started this week. So be honest and be vulnerable, be authentic with where you're at. This company is all about integrity. We don't need to sell anything. We just need to be real. We need to be ourselves. Stay aligned, guys, and have fun. Thanks for staying with us for so long tonight, but I feel like this was pretty important just to get this vibe flowing. And let's take this into the rest of March and kick into 90 days of a bit of momentum and consistency at our own pace, and all of us working together in the same direction, and the abundance and the fun will flow from there. So that's it for me, guys. Take yourself off mute, and I'll see you on Be Well Tuesday and Bfree Monday next week.
See you guys.
Thanks very much. Good night.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Roz.
Yeah, thanks, Tal. Good to see you there, Caitlin. See you, Chris. See you, Paul.
Good night.
Catch you guys.
Roz,
Yeah, Jem?
just a question. When does the 90-day game plan start? What dates?
My gut feeling, Tal, and is we have this week just to get things organised, and then we kick in at the start of April and do April, May, June, and finish June 30.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
I think that's when the ISA one starts.
It does?
Yeah, because usually the dates are on the book, but I haven't seen them.
Yeah, I think they give everyone a week, and then we'll start.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next Monday. So get our list sorted. So it fits in with what we're doing. March is a bit of a pre-launch. Jan and Feb was just getting the ball rolling again and reviving the group, getting celebration. So I think, yeah, that'll work well, Jem. This week, just to get organised, and then Monday we hit the ground running.
Yeah, ready.
Cool. And also, any ideas, man, about how we're going to do this together as a team? I know Rob and Rhea are with Heidi McCallan at the moment, so they're doing a boot camp with them. So they might just, like, other than the Be Well Tuesdays and Bfree Mondays, if you have any ideas about blitzes or incentives or anything that we can do as a team without feeling like it's adding more stress to your life, please feel free to share. Sound good?
Yeah. I think blitz action hours or 2 hours are powerful. I've sent more messages in those things than I probably have in the rest of my whole isogenics fucking business. Probably done more work in like a collective 10 hours over the last 4 years than the rest of it. So I know that worked for me.
Yeah, that's a great idea, man. And I guess that comes on the back of just recalibrating our list. And I know my master list is just
2,000 people. Where the fuck did you find them, Jem?
I'm a pro stalker.
Yeah, stalk level 10 out of 10.
Imagine though, if you get a message from Jem and you're like, "Oh, hey man, like, do you want to like do this health thing and this abundant lifestyle business with me?" I'm pretty sure me telling Caitlin be like, "Look at your." Like,
I'm literally like messaging just people I follow on Instagram and just saying like, I've been watching you for a while. I think you'd really be good at, what I do. It's a great opportunity. Would love to connect.
Yeah.
And then if I hear something, awesome. If I don't, I kind of go for the ones that have like around about the same following as me, because if they have like, if they look at my account, they're like, whatever. So I try to look at like the ones that are, influential, but not, 100,000. Yeah, and just people that I've been following, like that I genuinely follow. So
yeah.